Good morning, Bear Nation. It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. Let's say the word bear some more. Bear, 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 bear. This morning we're going to talk about hardening your hands. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, first, we got to feed our meat. So let's feed our meat. Good morning, meat. Say good morning, meat. Marr. Disastercoffee.com. The meat has been fed. 1 part scratch grains, 1 part sweet feed, 1 part 13% all stock pellets. Makes delicious meat. Wouldn't you agree, mother? She agrees. Because hashtag do the things, we actually do them, which is why we are walking over here to have this conversation on this area of the homestead. Harden your hands. What I mean by this is this. So, this here is a deck, will be a deck that we're building off the side of this house. I have a lot of carpentry experience. For those of y'all who are new to the channel, I ran a wood shop for 4 years. To call it a wood shop is like calling a Ferrari a car. We made everything you could possibly imagine out of wood. My buddy Squid runs it now. YouTube channel, Squid Actual. You should check him out. His logo looks like my logo, but it's a squid, not a bear, because he's squid, not bear. Before that, framing experience, general contracting experience, blah, 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 blah. And so we're putting this deck up. And we're putting this deck up because these 2x8s are actually cantilevered under the house. This block wall here, this is the foundation. There's a footer down here. Block wall sits on top of the footer. There's a sill plate, and then the existing floor joists were all rotted, and there was some termite damage, and we got a quote of $10,000 to fix. So instead of $10,000, we threw $1,200 in materials at this and fixed it ourselves. And so these boards run all the way under the house, and they are ponied to, attached to the existing floor joists. And every one of them, or I'm sorry, the vast majority of them, were driven in by a sledgehammer. So they were forced in so that they would actually carry load. So they're not just floating in there. We had to bang them in from this side over here, this way, 4 foot with a sledgehammer. So using that sledgehammer, I've spent a lot of time using a sledgehammer. I spent a lot of time swinging a hammer, framing things, building things, making things work. And even then, my hands hurt. Right now, my hands hurt from hundreds of reps with a sledgehammer. Harden your hands. And what I mean by this is, it's nice to think that, well, when X happens, I'm just gonna. No, you're not. And even if you are, when was the last time you just gunned? When was the last time you did the thing that you say you're gonna do? Because it matters. Well, it is kind of like riding a bicycle. The endurance isn't there. These things, there's muscle memory, but the muscle still has to be there. And so this gets back to hashtag do the things. You have to actually do the things. And the pride of ownership for me on this house has gone way up, because even though it's damaged, there's a lot of work here. I mean, look at this window casing, trash. Look at this siding, trash. This sill plate is trash. I got to replace all of this. And my wife and I, we are going to replace all of this because she's badass, and we're going to save a bunch of money, and we're going to do it ourselves. So my pride of ownership goes way up on this house simply by doing it, as well as I stay in regular use of my hands. I'm remembering how to do the things. I still have endurance to do the things. And the concept for me, the mental assent that I was just going to walk out here and do this, we did, we are. But also having the endurance and the strength to do it matters. And so what this really is an encouragement to you to do the things or keep doing the things. Back here, it's going to wrap around to the back of the house there. See, I've still got to replace that ledger, and we have some existing 2x8s sticking out of the house from a temporary repair that we made 18 months ago when we first moved in, because that door is new. There it is. That door is new, but the floor joists in here were rotting, and so we had to replace the subfloor and the floor joists in that one area. And as you can see, we did a cantilever at that time. Well, we're going to pull those. We'll do the same thing, stub in here and come out to these to this ledger that we've got out here, 2x10 ledger, 2x8 joists on 4x4s, pressure treated yellow wood, 5 foot on center, 2 foot ish into the ground with 2 sacks of concrete on each post. And so the point here is, I mean, look, part of my house is held together with plywood that's coming apart. The people who built this house didn't really know how to do the things. And so we're playing catch up. There's a reason we call this homestead the land of almost, because almost everything is done, and it was almost right, but not quite. And that little bit that they didn't do or didn't do right creates a lot of work for us. So this is basically an encouragement. Harden your hands, do the things. And I mean literally harden your hands. Go swing your axe. Go do the things. Go press your triggers. Go hammer nails. Climb trees. Do push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, crunches. Do all of those things. Just keep doing the things, because it matters. Because while I know how to do all of this here, and I remember how to do it here, I've got to be able to do it here. And I would submit that the more you do it here, the less catch up you play here, and it keeps this sharp. I see a lot of men, and I'll end with this. I see a lot of men whose identity was wrapped up in their job, that when they retire, they lose themselves. And this happens whether, you ETS out of the military and you're like, yeah, but who the hell am I anymore? Good, find a new mission. It's as simple as that. Or if you worked at the phone company for 30 years and you retire, they lose their identity. Their identity informs their sense of purpose, so they become lost, and they get out of the habit of working every day, so they stop, and they get depressed, and they get fat, and they get lazy. An object in motion tends to remain in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. Remain in motion is my point here. Just keep doing the things. Whatever those things are, just keep doing them. Harden your hands in the process, that if you ever need them, they're already hard. Yes, several hundred blows with a sledgehammer. This sledgehammer. Just a word of encouragement for your morning. Shalom and blessings, y'all.